Okay. Now we'll discuss about a class being used in the static keyword. Okay, let's just create a class for testing. I would say new class. That would be a testing class. Okay, and then finish. So here, as I said, I would just create one method, that is one variable, static first name. Okay, static string first name. Okay, and then I would have an inner class. And inner classes can be static, but before going there, let's just try to have a class as static. What we have discussed, a class saying as static uh, doesn't make any sense, because and even the compiler will throw an error saying illegal modifier for the class testing class. Only public, abstract, and final are permitted. Okay. Now, if we create another class testing static class, okay, and then let's just give keyword static. So an inner class can be static. Okay. Now, and let's just create, so the inner static class. Now let's create one static class and one non-static inner class. Testing non-static inner class. Okay, and here let's just say static inner class. Okay, so in the main class we can have one static class and one non-static class, but the main class cannot be static. Now let's see the different combinations, whether a static class can have static methods and static variables. At the same time, can it have non-static methods and non-static variables? Let's see. So let's just create string first, and then let's create another method. That is public, it returns a string, and then printing for us. What is it printing for us? It's printing this out. Not this out. Because we said it returns a string, we would just say return. We would just say I am in testing static inner class. Okay, so I can have a non-static variable and non-static methods in a static class. Now let me just copy and paste it and rename it. Okay, just for our understanding. Second, and static. Okay, and static printing static method. Okay, so I can have a static and a non-static inside a static inner class. Okay, and then to differentiate, we will have here also printing non-static method, and I am in testing static inner class in here, and in this in here. Control A, Control format. So I can have a static inner class which can have a static and a non-static variables, and which can carry a static and non-static method. Okay, now let me see the same thing. Let me just copy and paste it in the non-static inner class. Okay, and to differentiate, let me just copy and paste it. Okay, now in a non-static inner class, I have created one static variable, a static non-static variable, a static variable, a static method, and a non-static. But Here it is throwing me an error saying that the field second cannot be declared static. Static fields can only be declared in static or top level type. So you can have static in the top level, but if you want to declare it as static, you have to declare the class as static. See, the error is gone. Now if you don't declare the inner class as static, you cannot have a static variable, or you can't even have a static method. Okay. Now these are the different scenarios. To print it out, let's just call from the calling class using this testing class. Okay. Now to differentiate from the okay, here I would use testing class. Now if I want to access testing static inner class, how would I do it? I would say testing class dot, see what are the options that I'm getting. Testing non-static inner class and testing static inner class, and the first name which is in the testing main class. So first name, I can access this class and I can access this class as well. So I would say testing class dot, let's just say testing non-static. First we'll go to non-static inner class, and then if I say dot, I cannot access anything because it's a if all the variables and methods are not declared static, so I have to create an object. Instead, let's just use another class, testing static inner class dot. Now I can access the printing static method, but at the same time I cannot access the printing non-static method. So even if you have a non-static method inside a static class, you cannot access it directly using the class. You need to create an object. So the dumb rule is, if you declare a method or variable as static, you can call directly from the class. Even if it is an inner class or top level class, and if you don't declare the variable or methods as static, you have to instantiate, that is create an object. Now let's just print this one. I would say sys out. Okay, and to know it, I would just copy and paste this. Okay, and next.